There's something you're gonna have to make some sort of sense to me. See, I created the collective hashtag about a year and a half into the brazen attacks and smear campaign. I did this to group them all together and leave tangible evidence of all of it, right? They fell in the trap, they did. On Instagram alone, there is over 1,160,000 posts under the hashtag I created. A lot of those creators, 50K, 100K, 500K. So realistically speaking, in certain circles, let's say about 1 to 3 billion people around the world have been influenced by me indirectly in one way, shape, or form. 1 to 3 billion have been influenced in some way regarding my story. It's a simple numbers game. Now, that's just on the books. That's just on the books. So now, people start hearing from everybody else but me. It's finally my turn to speak. How does that many people get together to talk about somebody constantly if they're a nobody? I don't know if you noticed this or not, but the days of the ET tabloids and Hollywood news ruling the world are over. That's a thing of the past. So I must have been pretty important the entire time, right? When that many people group together against one individual just to spread lies and gossip and rumors, that person must have had the potential from the beginning to be extremely important and influential. Fact of the matter is, if all those attacks weren't happening, because this wasn't just word of mouth, this just wasn't internet. This flowed into a real life, filmed 24/7 Truman Show in my actual life in Syracuse, New York. Real life Truman Show. I lived it. This had to do with illegal use of energy weapons on a government level because of false reports that were never investigated other than for anything by word of mouth. Somebody said something. There was no legal foundation for me to be investigated or targeted ever, not even once. There was no legal ground to even initiate an investigation, let alone have me targeted. They were counting on the fact that their lies had power. And now we're seeing the reality of the situation. My truth is much more powerful. There was never an excuse for these types of behaviors. They did it all for money. Money. The thing is, now that the stories are coming out, they're seeing that they did this to a lot of people. Not just me. I'm not a standalone. I'm not a special case. This is a global issue. They did it to everybody like me to literally stomp out positive influences. Now, I don't know about speaking to my character, but it sure does speak to theirs. And it sure does speak to government at the highest levels of government, the true levels of corruption, they were able to take over classified intelligence agency weaponry and use them against civilians for not succumbing to evil, labeling them things, labeled me things. Mentally unstable, a danger and menace to society. I do nothing but help people. I made a job of it. That's not just for show. That's what I spend all of my energy for. It's not to mask something. It's not to hide something. That's who I am as a person. That's my character. I had to heal from all of these attacks. And the government was right there in on it. Because that's who their network involved. The attacks stopped. The reality of me has been seen. The lies got too loud. They took it too far. They lost their protection. Everybody at the higher ups just stepped away. It's too loud. You know why? Because I spoke my truth consistently. And I got famous. When 1 to 3 billion people around the world have been influenced by you in some way, or know your story, or know your name, the name Collective is global. It's global. I'm known. And the same people that spent all that time attacking are now cowering. None of their lies held up, because that's what they always were. I remember what being attacked by those energy weapons felt like. It felt like severe emotional distress, intense depression, exhaustion like you wouldn't believe. And at times I got physical pain in my body that was so bad it was crippling. And they used the effects of those weapons to physically portray me as unstable and in a negative light. This was a setup from the beginning. So I ask you, if I'm sitting here, staring here, looking at you, dead in the face right now, who's lying? What was their validation? Who validated any of it? Who cleared this? Who gave clearance to use classified weaponry openly on an innocent civilian? Who did that? Who has the authority to do that? And how were they connected directly to my family? And how did that follow me to California and all the way back to Syracuse, New York? That's a huge network. That's a huge sphere of political influence. And I'm still standing here like a man, because that's what I am. I help people because that's my character. I'm a chosen one. How could this be allowed to happen for so long, to so many, and people just swept it under the rug? That truly speaks to the affliction the societal construct of the human civilization is undergoing. The leadership is tainted.